folks, welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
You're live, Philip.
Hey folks, Phil Myers here from sunny Tampa, Florida with my good friend Jeff, and we've got an exciting show lined up for Treasure Talk tonight, and we're going to have a good time. Make sure you get your questions into Jocelyn, and I guess it's time for me to read the disclaimer.
Yep.
Okay, folks, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we not only sell fun, but we sell adventure. And the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Treasure Talk guests and members belong solely to the guest or member, not necessarily to Myers Metal Detectors, Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, or Jeff Monin. And go ahead and take it away, Jeff.
All righty. Well, we've got with us tonight for a really big show, one you all been waiting for, is Ryan Fazekas with Anderson Detector Shafts. We're going to talk detecting with him tonight. They got a bunch of new stuff that we're going to talk about as well. Maybe a lot of you don't know that Ryan is a very accomplished detectorist, and I know you've probably heard of Steve Zazulik up there, part of the Ringfinders, but he learned everything he ever knew from Ryan, and Ryan schools him every time they go out hunting together. So we're going to get some good information tonight, and so I'm going to bring Ryan on. He's in the green room. Let's hope that he can hear us. Technical difficulties being what they are, but I'm going to bring him on and let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Boom. There you go. Hey, Ryan, can you hear us?
Loud and clear.
Good man. Good man. How you doing?
Doing well yourself?
Pretty good. It's cold here today. Well, how about, is it cold up there by you?
It's freezing.
Yeah.
Well, give us real quick, Ryan. Give us the temperature in Canada.
Cold. I don't even know what I like today. I tried to stay inside today.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah. So, what part? I forgot what part of Canada are you in?
We're located in Ontario, Canada. We're right on the border of Buffalo, New York.
Oh, okay.
Just with the Niagara River between us there, so we're really close to you guys there.
So you're getting a bunch of snow then?
Yeah, we've got snow, we've got ice. I was actually out yesterday playing hockey with my son outside, so it's cold.
Yeah, well, Jeff and I are fixing on going over to the beach in a few days and do a little beach detecting. Now the water's a little chilly. It's probably in the 60s, Jeff, so we're going to have to put the suits on.
I got the wetsuit and I got rash guard, so I'm ready to go.
Oh,
Plus, I got a layer of fat, so it's kind of like a seal, you know.
Okay, well, cool. Yeah, so
Cool
we're lucky. We're lucky here in Tampa. We're the Super Bowl. We're hosting the Super Bowl, and of course, the Buccaneers won. I'm not one for following football, so I'll be detecting on the beach, most assuredly. But I guess we're going to go ahead and get started.
Let's bring it on.
What's the advantage of the fiber shaft?
Oh, okay, well, the first question, and I guess that's been on two lists. Now, Tom Becker's asked, what are the advantages? Well, Ryan, what we're going to do is ask you a bunch of questions that people are writing in on Facebook and on YouTube, and you just answer them, and everybody will be happy. But I got this on both Facebook and I think on YouTube. Or Jeff emailed it to me too. What are the advantages of using the carbon fiber shaft on the Equinox?
So many things. Well, the overall feel, and just having something that's solid and firm with no flex, actually, enhances the detecting as well as the weight. Everybody always thinks it's going to be lighter, like as a whole, a lot lighter, but a lot of our components, you got to remember, are also a lot heavier duty. So we're replacing a factory plastic arm cuff with our aluminum handcuff. So obviously aluminum's heavier than plastic, but you're going to have, a lot stronger. You've got, you can form it, you can adjust it a bit, padded arm cuff strap. So it's all the small little enhancements that it's going to make it a lot more comfortable and going to allow you to detect a lot longer. So another big thing is the balance. We work on, getting a good feel, a good balance, more adjustability, less metallic material on your shaft. All of that stuff is gonna, the whole overall.
Yeah, I know I use the Anderson shaft on my Equinox, and I like that the arm cuff is made out of aluminum and not the plastic because, I sell the detectors in the shop, and every once in a while someone will bring one in that they broke that plastic. They were a little rough with it, and I haven't seen an aluminum.
Yeah, and like I said, the nice thing is too that like you can form them, right? So this is a special alloy that allows you to bend it. So if you've got a smaller arm, you can bring that in a bit and tighten it up. Or if you've got a bigger arm, like I know when I dive in the wintertime and I've got a dry suit on and I've got the dry gloves on, I really got to open it up quite a bit just to make it comfortable, right? So that's all the things that is going to enhance your detecting experience, right? You want to be comfortable out there. You don't want those little annoyances that are going to bother you the whole time, whether it's a little clicking in the lower rod or something's got a little bit of wobble. Some of the factory lower rods are, if they're plastic, you can almost be swinging and you're over here and the coil is just like still over there and it kind of catches up. It's just that, again, it's just annoyances that we try to eliminate and just keep you comfortable while you're out there doing what you enjoy doing.
Yeah, I think it's balanced better with that aluminum handle on it, and I like that you do have the different holes for the adjustment on it. I'm taller, I'm 6'3", so it makes it easier for me to hunt with it. And I like the shaft. I think is a little longer than the stock shaft. I might be wrong, but it works out better for me. And even when I put the 6-inch coil in it, because I use that a lot. Hey, and just so everybody knows, we do have some new coils coming out for the Equinox. Coil Tex is coming out with 3 of them. So
I've seen that. That looks awesome.
Yes, I'm anxious for the 5x10 myself. So I do a lot of coin and relic hunting with that, with a small coil. And I think the 6 is a little too small. I'd like to have the 5x10. So hopefully they'll be here quick. But yeah, the Equinox, I like the carbon fiber shaft on it. To me, it's nice heavy material, I think. And it also, being that it's only 2 pieces, you've got less cam locks than the factory shaft. So I think it's a no-brainer to get that one. So folks, I have them in the shop, so you can come pick them up tomorrow if you like. All righty. And yeah, just a comment, my friend Mark Hoover likes the Anderson carbon fiber handle for his scoop. That would be the Neptune handle. And I've sold quite a few of them, so they're a hot item too. So Jeff, did you want to jump in anytime, buddy?
Well, Ryan, I heard something, and you're going to have to kind of verify this. Bunch of people told me that Zazulik was getting tired of you schooling him every time y'all went hunting together. He did mention that you taught him everything he knows, but let's hear it from you. What's the story there?
It's good to have a good diving partner. That's all I got to say. We've had a lot of laughs and a lot of good times detecting together and traveling in that. And he might learn from me some of the detecting stuff, but I've learned a lot of other things in life from him. So it's really traded off. It's not just one-sided, that's for sure.
Yeah. Do y'all ever use any hookah gear?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've got some hookahs, gas-powered hookahs, double hose. We've had stuff off the boats. We've had dredges. We've I think done a little bit of everything. But mostly just single tank. We like to just kind of have minimal gear and just kind of not have too much stuff with us and just go light and go long.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Phil's got a hookah outfit now.
Well, I did until I sold it. I started carrying the Blue Nemo, the little battery powered one that you can go 10 feet with. And I keep saying I'm going to try it out and use it. And every time I get some in, I put one aside for myself. And darn if it doesn't get sold before I get a chance to get out and try it out and use it. So, Jeff, I'll be ordering some more tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll have them before Friday. But we'll see. Because I've never done that before. So, it's, it should be fun. So, we'll see. But, it's interesting what you're saying with Steve. And that's one thing with detecting. You always learn from other people. That's the secret. Keep your eyes open and learn from whoever you're hunting with. So let me keep going with my questions on my list here. And boy, this printed out really small, so I can barely read it. We notice we've added a great deal of new items to your offerings. New products. You want to talk about some?
Yeah, we're always trying to, come up with some new ideas. And again, we look for feedback from users and dealers and anybody in the community. If there's something that you guys want or need, send us an email. A lot of the stuff that we do bring out is just for our own needs, not to be selfish, but one of the latest things was the battery cap for the Excal. That was just a quick project that we did pretty recently, and it was again out of need. I know whenever Steve and I are detecting, we're usually bringing about 3 or 4 Excal batteries each, and it's always a worry of not having the ends covered. When you're on flights, you're traveling, you worry about the battery shorting out, or even local detecting if you've got a spare battery rolling around in the back of your car or in the glove box. It's great to have something to cover it. And I know some guys are using plastic caps and different things, but we thought we'd come up with something nice. It's all aircraft grade aluminum, CNC machined with our logo on it there. It's got foam on the inside, so you can just protect the end of your battery. Goes
Okay.
down there.
Now, is that waterproof if you dropped it in water?
It would be pretty sealed. It's going to be sealed as well as the factory ones.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to carry an extra battery in your pouch, I'm not one for hunting 12 hours, but if you wanted to carry an extra battery, I guess you could.
Yep. If you tighten it up there, and it's going to protect it, if you from dropping it and just banging the threads and the terminals on it, and or marking them. Guys have been ordering them in different colors, so when they charge their batteries, they kind of indicate which ones are charged with different colors and stuff like that, and kind of go through them that way too.
Okay, that's a cool product. How about some other ones? You got anything else coming out?
Yeah, well, we've just started with a new arm cuff as well. It's a separate one. It's for the factory Equinox shaft. It's again all CNC'd. The brackets are all billet aluminum. So again, this is a factory replacement. Ours comes with an aluminum arm cuff already, but this is a factory replacement for the factory shaft, or it can be used on our shaft as well. So
Okay.
you'll be seeing a lot more of those. We've got some of those out. They might be available, and I know there's guys out testing them right now. A lot of our stuff, it takes a while to get out because we like everybody to run it really good. We've got guys out there testing stuff and getting feedback and just making sure that there's not going to be any weak spots on it.
We already did. Okay, so that one, did you know the retail price on that?
For you?
No, the retail. The US dollars.
US dollars. You know what? I'll have to look. I think they might be $59.99.
Okay. All right, cool. All righty. Anything else coming out?
We're still working on scoops. We're working on our own line of scoops. You're going to see a lot of stuff online. We're going to be asking people, again, we're looking for input on, materials and sizes and what everybody wants. I know there's so much stuff out there, but we're just trying to come up with the one best all be all scoop. So again, we've got stuff, guys testing stuff. We've got new equipment that we've got in-house that we've brought in, new welding equipment. We do all of our welding and stuff in-house. So we're just investing in some newer equipment and newer technology for the welding and stuff like that, just to bump things up a notch.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you considering the titanium for a scoop?
We've looked into it a bit. Like my background is welding. I've done years of production welding and stuff like that for large companies and stuff. So I'm no stranger to all the welding and materials and stuff. But we're just trying to weigh the pros and cons of what's going to be the best, and the strongest and the lightest and all of that. So, it's not out of the question, but we're definitely looking at it. We've talked about it for years. We're talking about stuff and composites as well and different things. It's just the cost of manufacturing some of the items it goes crazy, and it's not cost effective anymore. It's, we've dreamed of a lot of different things, but using exotic materials, but who's going to pay that much money for something? So we're trying to keep it cost effective. That's always been our one of our main goals, is to make it affordable for everybody.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That way you can sell a lot of them.
Yeah. We've got scoops. We've got all kinds of prototypes and parts and pieces that we've cut, and things are getting welded. We've done some aluminum stuff, but it's just, we know aluminum doesn't hold up, but we're trying to think of different stuff as well for people that maybe are a light user. But again, we've got a whole bunch of different stuff that's going to be coming out this year and should be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Well, titanium would kind of, it turns out where it's pretty pricey to the end user, isn't it? Right, Ryan?
Yeah, titanium, things change. Carbon fiber used to be there too. Carbon fiber was such an exotic thing, and it was only for the F1 racers and supercross bikes. And, we started using that about 10 years ago with our lower rods and stuff, and started the shafts, and, and now it's become cost effective and it's not too out of reach. So titanium is an expensive alloy, and that's the big thing. The welding isn't that big of a problem. It does take a little bit more in the process and the time, but it is expensive as a raw material. And unfortunately, you whittle half of it away when you're making scoops. So you're not getting if you're making something small that's solid, you don't waste too much of it. But when you're making scoops,
Yeah.
right? So when you're cutting it out, it all gets laser cut, and there's a lot of waste. So
it's harder to source too, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. It's not something that you're going to get easily locally at Home Depot. That's for sure. We deal with some of the largest alloy manufacturers and stuff like that here in North America to get our material from. So it's not a problem. Titanium only comes from a few different suppliers, but it's available. But again, it is pricey. It's a premium.
Yeah. So is there anything, I think you mentioned to us one time you might be doing a shovel, a spade.
Yeah. Again, we're working on that too, on the components. It's going to be, it's not going to be steel welded together stuff. Like we're doing CNC machined alloys blended with carbon fiber, and working on that as well. So
that'll be a killer.
Yeah. Somebody just commented there, I guess on Facebook. Jocelyn handed it to me. Would that be a travel version? One that would come in 2-piece?
What's that? The shovels?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be. Again, we're right now, I don't want to let too much out, but we're working on a modular design that's going to allow for disassembly and assembly and swapping of handles and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So, people have different styles and different things. And so we're trying to make it a modular system where even the shaft and parts of it are interchangeable. So from going to a 24 to a 36, you can swap out the inner tube and, make that change yourself. Just like you swap parts on your detector, like a coil, you might, swap the handle from a T to a D and stuff like that.
Cool. Awesome. Well, let me just remind the folks that these are some of Ryan's products right here. This is a good one, the knobs for the Excalibur. I have so many people come in with the stock Excalibur, and they're always breaking the knobs. So that's the solution for that.
Nothing worse than spinning a knob when you're out detecting. That's the worst.
Yeah, and you can't turn it. Then you're going back to the truck looking for a pair of pliers or something to turn it. So that'll save you right there. And then the other thing is this guy here, the knob guard. That's a top on the list that you should have if you have an Excalibur 2 or Excalibur. You should actually you should have both of those. And
I do.
fiber
I
shaft.
do.
Yes, and the painted color, the painted colored carbon fiber shaft. That's how I try to sell them in the shop now, in the green that kind of matches this here.
Yep.
It just looks so nice with that green carbon fiber shaft, because the shaft that comes with the detector is just, it's horrendous. You know, when you get out there, try to use it for an hour, because I'll have people want to just buy the Excalibur. I say, well, you'll last about an hour with that pulling at your wrist. And that's one of the benefits of having carbon fiber. You got it set up where it's either behind your elbow or under your arm. And it just makes it, you can hunt longer and find more stuff. That's kind of the secret, isn't it? I think that's your tagline, isn't it?
It is. Hunt longer, find more. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so,
and we've got all the dive shafts as well, right? So it's another huge part of our offerings is all the diving stuff. And again, was all built out of need. We've got the Excal Scuba, and we got scuba shafts for all the water machines, basically. That's just going to shorten everything up, keep you closer to your targets, you know, a lot less cumbersome, a lot easier to maneuver underwater with. Some of the areas that we dive in is we've got really heavy current. So, you know, having something that you can kind of tether onto or keep really close to you, it's super handy, and it's going to allow you to, you know, just find more stuff.
Yeah.
Are you diving in rivers, or are you diving in the lakes?
Yep. So we're in our area here. We've got we're on the Great Lakes, so freshwater lakes. We've got Niagara River, which is just above Niagara Falls. So there's some really good diving in there. And then there's all kinds of quarries and small little inner small lakes and streams and rivers like that as well.
All right, cool. Did I cut you off, Jeff? Just jump
No,
in.
I just got to say we got a YouTuber wants to know, Bruce Milligan. He has a Garrett Ace 400, and he's wondering if you have an extension to move his arm back farther on the shaft.
No, we don't have anything. We always take custom requests too. If there's something that somebody wants, we've had some people that wanted some crazy long lower rods and some one-piece shafts. Feel free to reach out if it's something that we think we can help you with. We don't mind taking a little extra time. You know, we're all about giving back as well. If we can help people out, by all means, we're more than happy to help you with your project or making a custom shaft, whatever it may be. So send us an email, and if we can help you out, we'll try.
Would you have a recommendation for him for one of your stock shafts that would fit on a Garrett Ace 400?
Not easily. Nothing that's a direct offering that would help with that. But it sounds like it'd almost have to be just a custom solution there to make a small extension to move that arm cuff back.
Okay. Well, now he knows, and you'll probably be getting an email from him. What's on your list, Philip?
Well, I got my list, but first I wanted to comment here. Shane Sims says, I have a Anderson shaft for both my sea hunters, and it makes a big difference in his detecting. So hats off to you there, Ryan. He likes it on his sea hunter too, not just MindLab products, but it's all the detectors.
Right. Yeah, we make for a lot of different brands, and we've even got universal shafts. We've got stuff that people have bought from us and customized to fit home-built machines. I've seen people that have machines I've never even seen before, and they've adapted them to our shafts. So yeah, it's great that we have such a following, and you know, we really, without our customers and our dealers, where would we be, right? So we appreciate everybody, every customer, big or small. It's awesome.
Now, Ryan, have you made anything yet for the NACA manufacturing? the people from Turkey?
You know, we've got all their machines in house here. We've got pretty much one of everything, and we're looking at it. We just don't know from, we haven't had a lot of feedback on kind of wants and needs. So again, just because the machine comes out, we're not going to just start making stuff for it unless we
Right.
find that there's a weakness, or people say, I wish it was a little longer, a little this or stronger, or this is breaking or that's breaking. So some of the newer machines really haven't been out long enough, I think, to see what the failure points are and what people want. But we're definitely, looking at it. Anytime a machine comes out, we try to get one as soon as they're available, just so we have them here in house.
Okay. Cool. All righty. Well, I'm going to get back to my list then, Jeff. Okay,
Okay.
Brian. So, guys, what type of hunting? Well, I guess if Pete's not there with you today, but what type of hunting do you enjoy the most?
Any hunting. The last little bit, it's mostly been water hunting that I enjoy the most. Underwater detecting. I don't know. There's just something about it that there's a lot of things about it. Just first of all, it's the finds I find are greater in the water, especially in our area. There's a lot less trash, but a lot older items. So we're finding a lot of older coins, a lot of gold rings, a lot of older jewelry, and little trash. So it's almost kind of like the best scenario. So, and then just being underwater, I just enjoy it because you see so much more stuff as well. Like I love old bottles and artifacts like that as well. So while you're diving, you can see all that stuff. And even when we go away, I was just talking about this with Steve the other day. I said, a lot of guys just walk in the water, but they miss so much stuff. We were at one resort and we probably pulled out in a week about 50 pairs of glasses, sunglasses. Mind you, a lot of them were damaged, but a lot of them were higher end and they were mint, just like they were just lost. And if you were just walking along, you'd be stepping on them and breaking them. You wouldn't find half of them because a lot of them are just plastic now. So again, we really enjoy that when we're, especially in the Caribbean, and that when you're dive detecting, like, half of the stuff is stuff you find with a detector and half of it is just eyeball finds. Like I've found some great scuba gear, masks, you name it, found it underwater. So it's just kind of really enjoy the water detecting.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing what people wear in the water, isn't it, Ryan?
It is. It's crazy the stuff that we find, and you wonder why people were wearing it in the water. And and it's stuff that's recent or the stuff from, back 100 years ago. You're wondering what people were doing with, a gold pocket watch in the water or some of these rings. Like it's just unbelievable.
I know. But now we're finding, people are buying these cheapo composite rings and stainless steel and those titanium crappers and all that kind of stuff. I mean, after a while you get tired of finding them. We say, come on, guys, pony up, get something decent to lose, will you?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm afraid I actually just bought a titanium wedding ring because I'm afraid of wearing my gold ring. I never want to wear it. So I found too many other people's rings that I just, my daily wear is just a titanium band that I'm not afraid to take it off at the shop and throw it on the bench and lose it. And
Right.
some people have gone, but you can almost talk to anybody and they've lost a ring. It's incredible how many rings are out there.
Yeah, it
And
is amazing.
phones, why they're in the water with their phone. And we see it all the time, and I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
And phones aren't cheap.
Yeah.
No, very expensive.
Yeah.
I like the water too, hunting. I'm a wader. I'm not a diver yet. I told you about my hookah, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen for a while. But I like walking in the water, and you're right. You miss the glasses that are right next to you that your coil doesn't go over because you can't see them. You're just walking along doing your thing, listening to the detector. But you're right that it's more expensive stuff, I think, lost in the water than up on the beach. That's why I'd rather hunt the wet sand water down here than anywhere else. I mean, our weather's been a little chilly, so I've been dirt hunting, but you'll find some silver coins here and there, and some cool artifacts, but it's not going to be the monetary value of a nice fat gold wedding band.
That's it.
So,
For
so
sure. And
yeah.
that's what I always say. That's the whole reason I started detecting in the water was when I've been detecting since I was really young. And I mostly was doing parks and fields and stuff like that. And then I started to do the beaches. And I might have touched on this last time I was on, and there was an old timer, and he said, if you want to find the rings, you got to go out there. And he pointed to the water. So I said, oh, that's where they are. And he's like, yeah, if you want to find gold rings, they're in the water. You're not going to find them on the beach. So at the time, I think I had a WHATS DXF or whatever. And the next weekend, I went in the water with it and found my first gold ring. So after that, I was hooked.
No, it only takes one.
That's it. I was like,
It only
boy,
takes
this
one.
was easy. Like, why didn't I start this a long time ago? Mind you, it took me months before my second gold ring, but I was hooked. And that's after that, I just wanted to keep going deeper and getting out further past the rope lines. And that's why I started to, I got certified for diving and got all my proper equipment to get out deeper and, longer. And yeah, that's how it happens.
That's where the stuff is in the water.
Hey, I've got an interesting question here for you, Brian. And this is on the Excalibur, the knobs. Steve Kunder is asking, is there any worry about spinning the pots when replacing the knobs on the Excalibur?
No, with anything, you shouldn't be forcing anything or stripping anything or being rammy. The diameter is a little bit larger and there's a little bit more torque there, but like anything with the factory ones or other ones, it's those pots that are in there are not that strong anyway. So, over tightening either way on those could do damage. So you should always be careful with those knobs, whether they're factory or replacement or whatever you're doing or working on the machine. Like that's the delicate part of those machines is those knobs and those pots for sure.
And especially if it's a little older one where you've been, working the knobs some, those pots they get weak. So you got to be pretty careful with them, especially when you're replacing the knobs.
Yeah, knobs, and you got the seals in there and all that, and it's like that with any equipment. It's the same with our dive equipment. It's all, anything you're taking in the water, there's always some weaknesses there. You got to be careful and just work on it really easily and take things apart. No pliers and hammers and breaking stuff. It's just take your time and nothing should be forced. That's for sure.
Yeah, you take the hammers to the scoops, not the detectors.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of scoops, Bruce Gavarni is asking, is titanium really that much lighter than stainless? What do you think on that one?
Oh, it's definitely lighter, and it's, but it's always where guys are trying to save a few ounces, where it's sometimes easier to lose a pound somewhere else, if you know what I mean. But it's anything that's in the water, it's, you don't want to be dragging a lot more weight, but there's a fine line, same with our shafts. We could make something that's, a quarter of the weight that we're making now, but it's going to be not as strong, right? So you've got to find that proper balance between strength and weight ratio. And that's where we try to keep it, right? It's like, it's, either 4 times as strong as a factory shaft and it's the same weight. Well, then it's a win, right?
Right.
Or you know what I mean? Because same thing, like the shafts, they're so light as they are, whether it's a pound or half a pound, you're not going to notice that much of a difference more than the balance. The balance is where you're going to feel it way more than the weight.
I've found for me, and I've had both. I've had a titanium scoop and the stainless scoop, and I'm mainly a water hunter. And I don't really see the advantage of the titanium one for me hunting in the water. The weight's not that much of a problem, for me in the water.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like when you're scooping 10 pounds of sand, what's it matter? Like what's the big thing, right? I know it's just the again, if you're traveling and it's nice to have something that's light, or if you're dragging it around, it's nice to have a light. But at the end of the day, when you're scooping up that much stuff, the ounces aren't really going to add up, I don't think.
Right. And if you're out in the water, I think that the weight isn't as big of a factor as if you're up on the beach in the dry sand. Don't you think, Jeff?
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're up in the beach, hunting just strictly wet sand or dry sand, drag the thing behind you.
Absolutely. All righty. So before I get to our next question, Rick Tumbleson just I want to do a shout out to you, Ryan. It says, I love Anderson Detector products and they do a fantastic, and he's in all caps. He's not yelling though, Jeff, okay?
Okay.
They do a
Well,
fantastic job.
hey, what can I
fixing
tell you?
Problems that these
He's my protege.
detectors shouldn't have to begin with. So you fix their problems. And I'm teasing Jeff about typing in all caps because he does that because he can see easier. And
I was wondering what it was.
And some folks think he's yelling, but I think
sometimes I am, but most of the time I'm not.
I just thought his computer was broken.
It is.
Yeah,
I couldn't see it. See?
It's a stone tablet. But
that's right. That's right. Now I've got a question for you, Ryan. What do you guys, and you may already have this, I just don't know about it, like a T-handle to put on your beach scoop?
We don't, but you want that?
I think it'd be a good seller. I mean, anybody that's doing any detecting on the beach or in the water, if they don't have one, they don't know what they're missing. Because just like you said, if you're lifting a 10-pound scoop of sand, that T-handle really makes a difference. And one that doesn't have a bunch of metal screws on it to rust and, slice you and stuff like that.
All right.
All right. Well, let me go.
Add to the list.
Yeah, let me go back to my questions here. Okay. Tell us your specific gear that you use and why. What do you detect with?
Oh boy, depends how I'm feeling.
It sounds like me.
Well, it's one of those things. We've got, like I said, we've seriously got one of almost everything here, and I've got a whack of machines at home. Mostly, I've been an Excal user, just for our area, and that I just love the machine. I've got a couple of them that I use. I've got one with the watt coil on it that I use, and I've got just a standard. And then, the last 2 years, I've been using the Equinox a lot too. Took it away on a couple trips and did really well with it. And just from the testing that I've done in the areas that I know, I've pulled out some really deep gold with it. And it's just, I've got a couple little custom programs that I've got, and I've got kind of everything notched out. And I call it, I was joking with Steve. I told him it's my gold program. And it's just, I can go out and just dig gold rings with it. Like, I've got everything kind of notched out, and it just works well. This past summer, I think almost every time I was out, I got at least one gold ring. And I probably detected with it probably 90% of the time last summer. So I don't know, like, I was putting it through its paces, and I don't know.
Are you diving with it?
Yep.
How deep are you going?
I've pushed it beyond what it's supposed to go, and I haven't flooded one yet. Okay. But we're typically not diving in a lot of deep water, but we were away, and I caught myself, and I was pretty deep, and I was like, holy smokes, I'm way deeper than this thing should be going. And I thought it was going to be a goner, but it was fine. But most of our areas that we're in, we're not super deep where people have been swimming. Like, it's where people are swimming and jumping off of piers and break walls and stuff like that. So if there's anything deeper, typically taking the Excals for sure.
Yeah.
They're just such a light machine, and it's nice, with the screen and the display on it. I'm not typically a fan of machines that have a display, but with that, it's nice to be able to just look and check, see the numbers not bouncing, dig, and it's usually a ring.
Now you're underwater with your Equinox. What are you using to dig with?
Typically just hands, typically fanning.
Fanning.
Yeah. A lot of the areas we're in, it's, either or. Like, if even when you're away detecting, a lot of it, you're in the coral and shells and stuff like that. So scoops aren't that great. I do have a small scoop I use sometimes when I'm in like the really sugar sand,
Mhm.
just to speed things up.
Yeah.
It just kind of depends, but a lot of it's fanning and just hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you like the Equinox, and unless you're going deeper, then you're going to use your Excalibur.
Yeah, those are my two go-tos. Usually, if we go away, probably it depends on how many machines I take. I'll take the four. I'll probably take two Excals and two Equinoxes. I'll take an extra. That's the nice thing too about the Equinox. You can bring just a spare head unit. It's so easy to bring a spare machine along. It's so compact.
Right.
It's stick it in your shoe in your suitcase and you're good, right? With a spare machine.
Absolutely. And it's always good to have a spare detector because, like me, I don't get out to hunt that often, and I don't want anything bad to happen and then ruin my trip, So
That's the worst.
it
Yeah.
is.
Well, I'm only bringing two next week. Two.
Two's enough.
Excalibur and the Knox.
Yeah, there you go.
That's like what we
All
say
right.
with diving gear. One is none.
That's right.
Okay. All right, Ryan. So we heard you punish pretty badly Steve Zazulik whenever you hunt together. Is this true? I don't know where that question came from.
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
You got to punish the boy.
You got to punish Steve?
I don't know. We've had a lot of gags, a lot of good laughs, a lot of fun. That's for sure. It's one of those things too. You kind of gotta earn your stripes a bit, It's kind of funny how Steve and I actually met years ago. He actually came to purchase some equipment and stuff like that, and some information on detectors, and he knew I was going out on my. I don't know if I was going out on my boat, and he just wanted to tag along. He said, "Oh, I'd like to come out and see what you're doing and whatever." And I said, "Yeah, sure. Come along." And it's always open. I've offered people I've met online, or people are always like, "Oh, I'd love to do that. I'd love to try that." And I always, hey, if you can come on up, you want to go diving, I'll take you diving. I'll take you down the Niagara. I'll take you wherever you want to go. And some people have come up and had a great time. But Steve, he was just one of those guys that wanted to see what it was all about because he was mostly doing land detecting at the time.
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, come on out. We'll go." And he learned pretty quick that you got to be pretty quick. I'd jump off the back of the boat and go down there and come up with a bunch of stuff before he even had his mask on. I think he got
That's a good one.
hurt
Hey,
pretty quick there, but it's made him an awesome diver and detectorist, and he can keep up with the best of them. That's for sure. The stuff that he has found is amazing.
cool. All right, Jeff, I got a question for you, buddy. Bruce Gavarni is asking, with that T handle, where's the best spot on the scoop to put it?
Well, for me it depends. If you're hunting wet sand or dry sand, you may want to put it about halfway, just so you can kind of lift it up. Now, if you're in the water hunting, myself, I like it a little bit lower, so I kind of bend down just a little bit because you're hefting up a lot of weight in that wet sand, and just to get it up to kind of sift a little bit. So. You just kind of experiment with it and see which one works best for you, where you're not hurting your back and your arm and your elbow and that kind of thing. But generally about halfway to a little lower, in my opinion. How about you, Phil? Where do you like yours?
I like mine a little closer to the scoop. That way it helps me to pick it up if I'm in the water, that's just my preference. But I've seen people put them everywhere. So
Yeah.
they are a popular item, Ryan. So you should consider making something like that. All right, so let's keep going on my questions that have been emailed to me. What do you consider your best find, Ryan? Your best find?
I always say my wife.
Oh, I know that's a
Good answer.
standard answer. We're just quizzing you on that. All right, but your best metal detecting find?
Best metal detecting find. I always kind of, it's always like the current ones that you always think of the most, but probably some of the best stuff I've found is probably some of the 1812 stuff I've dug. Again, some of my earlier stuff was on land. I was, into some Rev War stuff, 1812 stuff. So I've dug some pretty amazing stuff, cannonballs, hat plates, buttons, and stuff like that. But again, a lot of that property is harder to come across in our area now. Everything's getting built up and everything's getting filled in, and getting permissions for properties, and that's getting harder and harder. But I've, again, found some amazing jewelry. If you go on, there's a page that Steve's created on Instagram, and that, like, dive detecting. And he posts almost everything that whenever we go out, he posts, as soon as we get out of the water, he does a little photo shoot and takes pictures of what we find. And it's great just to look back, because a lot of times, we'll say, oh, when was the first time we were in last year? And we'll go back through the photos and look at the first things we found. And, good record of the stuff that we found.
Yeah.
But a lot of awesome jewelry, gold jewelry and rings. That's what I say to Steve. Like, every time we go out, I say, like, we rarely dig the same thing twice. Like, every ring is different. Every religious medallion is different. Every coin, you know what I mean? It's no two are the same. So it's everything that we dig. It's amazing.
Yeah, we have a pretty interesting, I guess I started the same way on land, and I've got a lot of more of 1812 time period stuff. So it's interesting that we both have that in common. And then I got into the water because that's really where the money's at. I mean, I love the relics, but I like the other stuff. But I got one more question before it looks like Jeff's getting ready to do a drawing. But Howard Metz is asking, Ryan, do you wear only dry suits up there to detect in the water with your scuba gear?
No, as soon as the water is warm enough, I just wear my bathing suit, usually a bathing suit and a rash guard. And then, if it's a little cooler, then just a shorty. And then, because it gets pretty warm. The water can get pretty warm here in the shallows.
How warm?
August.
How warm? I say how warm?
80.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, it can get up there. And it depends too how early we get in. Like right now, we're still lucky because the lake hasn't froze. It just depends on the winter, right? So we've been pretty fortunate right now that the lake hasn't froze. So we'll probably be in pretty early. Even sometimes, depending how I'm feeling, like I'll even go out this time of year if I can coax somebody to join me. And definitely dry suit weather right now. But as soon as we can get out of the dry suits, we'd rather not wear them.
Oh, okay.
We usually got a few weeks of diving with the dry suits, and then we get into our 6 mils and then 2 mil, then down to a shorty and into the bathing suit, and then work it back the other way.
Okay, cool.
Our water is about 60, some about 66, 67. So I got my rash guard in a 3 mil.
Yeah, I remember years ago, Steve actually invited me we were down in Melbourne. And, here I am going down to Florida thinking like, oh, all I need is a shorty. And when I got off the airplane, I was like, what's this? I should have just stayed home. It was so cold and the water was freezing. And luckily I brought a full suit, but it wasn't very thick. And I was like, oh, this is brutal.
Especially in the Atlantic. The Atlantic's colder than it is over in the Gulf.
Yeah, we were on both. We went to both sides. We were going back and forth and trying to find something. But man, it was an eye opener, and I couldn't believe the drop off too, because we only got a few feet from shore, and it was like, that was it.
Yeah, over on the Atlantic it is most of the time. So what we're doing, we've got our giveaway thanks to you, Ryan, and just so everybody knows. We had a ton of people enter this, and Ryan was just as nice as he could be with the giveaway for tonight is you go to Anderson Detector Shafts websites and you get to pick what you want, anything on their website. So you'll see the crawler going across the bottom of the screen. If you're strictly watching on YouTube, all you can do is text. If you're watching on Facebook, you can either text or Facebook Messenger, Phil or myself. Now, when you text, please include your name, because we just don't know your number and we don't have any idea who you are. So guys, just say, hey, this is Jojo, I'm here. And just put it in the chat is not going to get it done either. So what I've done is I've taken all the names from YouTube and Facebook, and there's a passel of them. There was well over 200, probably about 250.
Jeez.
And we put them in a random name picker. And we picked out the winners. So what will happen is I'm going to call your name. You got 3 minutes. All right. 3 minutes to text Phil or myself or Facebook Messenger us with your name, please. So here we go. Okay, Patrick Keefe, you are the winner. You got 3 minutes.
Didn't see it.
And if you don't text us with it by 7:55, we're going on to another one.
Absolutely.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Okay, Ryan, when you were down there in Melbourne, tell us what you found.
Not much.
No?
No. Just some, I'm trying to think, that was so long ago, what we actually found. We did a lot of hopping around. We got some junk jewelry. There was nothing that really stood out as an amazing find. But there was some, we were down there with a couple other detectorists and met some great people. Stopped in at the museum down there and did some sightseeing. It was just a great overall thing to see the whole area. Like I'd been to Florida before when I was really young, but never detecting. So it was great just to go around to all the beaches along there. Like you guys have so much beach. I don't know how you decide where to detect. Then actually Steve took me out fishing there too. Can't remember what it was, bluefish or something we were fishing for. I don't know, but just
There's
got
always
the whole tourist experience.
Did you dive in the Gulf, or where'd you go out on the Gulf side?
We didn't dive. We were just in the water and on the wet sand. We didn't bring all of our gear down.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. Yeah, it was just.
Where were you at?
Man, I can't remember half the places we were, but we were everywhere. We were along the beaches there in Melbourne, all the way down quite a ways, and then we went over to the Gulf side. Is it Venice Beach?
Venice. Okay.
Yeah.
Went over to Venice, and then we went up and down there and stayed at a hotel along there, and
Okay.
some good stories.
Well, I bet we'll have to blackmail Zulik with those.
Yeah. Well, remember, guys, this is a family show. No stories.
Good laughs, I'm telling, for sure. Just good memories.
Patrick Keefe, he is here. He is the winner.
He is
So,
the winner.
Patrick,
Boy, he just got it too.
you need to get me your information, and I will send it to Ryan. So send it to me via email, treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. We'll get it up to Ryan, and then you get a hold of Anderson Detector Chefs and do your thing.
Yeah, or they can just contact us directly. They can just email us, either or.
Okay, that's great. Congratulations to Patrick Keefe.
Excellent.
You're going to be happy with whatever you get, man.
You got time to give another one away?
Sure. You want to do it?
You do it.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. How about Mayor Videos? Mayor Videos, are you watching tonight?
Mayor
You got 3
Video.
minutes.
Was that from YouTube, maybe?
Yep, that's a YouTuber, Mayor Videos.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, it looks like we've got about 1,000 people on the Facebook page.
Yep, and we're getting more and more and more on YouTube, and that's good.
Yeah, so thanks for coming on, Ryan.
Well, thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me. Like I said, it's great to, give back a little bit and talk about, like, I just love detecting so much. It's not about us just coming on here and talking about our products. I love just talking about detecting in general. And it's great that you guys are doing this, especially up here. We're still kind of in lockdown, so there's not much of anything going on. So it's great to have something to watch and fill the void.
Yeah, we're not in lockdown. We can be, our business can be open, but they don't want us to do anything in groups, of course, and we wear a mask all the time. I'm sure you have to do the same thing
Yep.
there. Did he contact you, Jeff?
Nope,
And who is
not
it?
yet. Marlon at Mayor Videos, you got to text us, man. You're running out of time. You got about a minute and a half.
MAYOR?
I think so. He said it, but that'll come up on the
See, they're
text.
not on the show.
Well, they could be on their YouTube. A lot of them.
He's a YouTube watcher, so
Yeah, a lot of people love
Is he
YouTube
there
now.
tonight?
We don't know yet, but
so
well,
he
let me
hasn't
keep.
gotten up with us yet, so he's about to miss out.
All right, Ryan, I'm gonna keep going on my list while we got you here, buddy. So
Okay,
do
if
you
we
have
run over
any-
a little bit, we'll be all right. Don't worry about it.
Do you have any hunts planned after the COVID thing is gone?
Anywhere would be great. Usually this time of year, I'm away right about now. This is kind of the week where I'm usually gone.
Michael Boyles.
So
Ask him that question.
I don't know when things open up or if they open up. It would be great to get anywhere. I feel that it's just going to be local hunting probably this year before anything opens up. Everything's locked down so tight that, just going to just do the farm. It's going to be one of those years. I was on something a few weeks ago talking as well. And I said, you know what, this is a year to try something different. Maybe you're not going to travel. Maybe you're not going to go to as many hunts, but if you've never done any water detecting, maybe just try something different. Do some water detecting, or if you've never done anything in the water, maybe start with some snorkeling and some shallow water stuff, or, buy that machine that you've been talking to yourself about getting and get some new gear and just make the best of it. It's going to be, another different year, but hey, I always say too, your own stomping grounds are usually the best.
Yeah.
Whenever Steve and I come back from a trip, even if it's a really successful
Yeah.
trip, we always kind of laugh and say, you know what, the best spot we got is the one in our backyard, because you're familiar with it. You know where the stuff is.
Yeah, you know it. Right, you know it. It's the same thing with me. Some of the beaches I hunt are the ones I know because
Yeah.
it's easier to do there. But so you guys can't leave. Canada's pretty much shut down
Oh,
for
yeah,
travel.
it's
isn't it?
getting crazier by the day. So right now, yeah, we're in Ontario. We're in lockdown. Manufacturing and certain industries are still open, but a lot of other stuff is closed and nothing really going on. It's a ghost town out there. So
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm missing my
Videos lost out.
Canadian customers who vacation down here for the winter, and I'm fortunate because my business has been really good, because in
Yep.
detecting you can do it by yourself, you can social distance. You don't want to be next to another detectorist. Otherwise the machines are talking.
Okay,
I'm sorry, Jeff. Keep going, buddy.
Mayor Videos, your time is up. You didn't text, you lose. So Michael Boyles, you got 3 minutes, my man.
I know he's there.
Right there.
I saw Mike on there. I think he was just asking a question. So,
Michael
yeah, I think detecting, like you said, is
Mike, you got-
the perfect hobby for the situation that we're in. It's outdoors, it's exercise, it's, you can do it with your family. It's the perfect hobby.
Well,
Yeah,
you
Mike,
get
just
right
like
on
to
it,
see it.
right? You do it with your family because we've got a 1-year anniversary coming up in May, and we're doing like a 2-week anniversary type thing where it's going to be family night. And as for guests on our show, we're going to have people that detect with a family member, and they just enter and say, like Ryan and your wife, family detecting is the best. And we're going to bring them on the show to tell everybody all about it. Because that's kind of what it is. It's
Yeah.
all about family.
For sure. My father, he started detecting a few years ago and got him a machine, and he enjoys it. And my oldest son, he's just got certified diving last year, and he's been detecting for a few years, and he's picked it right up and done really well with it. So anybody can pick it up, and it's an easy hobby. It's not something you have to get totally into and be die-hard going out every day. Some people it's just once a week or once a month, or
Yeah.
it's a great
Absolutely.
hobby.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, Michael did text me, so we do
Okay,
have
we're
the-
good. So you know the drill, Mike. Give me the info. We'll get it to Ryan so he can, and then you contact Ryan.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Ryan, for doing that, especially 2 prizes. That was awesome.
Yeah,
sure-
no problem. It's
Sure, everybody's going to love their pick off the website. So that's just awesome. So thank you for
They
coming
should.
on.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. And I'll be emailing you an order probably the next day or two, because we're starting to get pretty busy now, believe it or not. Even without our Canadian guests coming down, I'm kind of bummed about that. But I think nowadays people decide, hey, they've always wanted a detector and wanted a treasure hunt. They're going to go ahead and do it. They're not going to wait anymore.
yeah,
Because tomorrow's not promised. So they're going to get out and do it and have fun. And
yeah.
that's what
This
it's
is
all
here to
about.
make a difference and just try something different. Yep.
Absolutely. So I want to say thank you to you, and thank you to Jeff, and thank you to Jocelyn, and thank you to all the many fans we have on both YouTube and Facebook now. It's kind of exciting. We're getting such a growing base here. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. And Jeff, I'll turn it on to you.
All righty, everybody. We want to say thank you, everybody. All you guys on YouTube. We're picking up a huge audience on YouTube. We love that. Keep looking, because obviously you can win in the giveaways now where you never used to be able to. We're coming up on 1,000 people on Facebook and 1,000 people on YouTube. So we're doing pretty good. And Ryan, again, we just got to thank you, man, because you're one of our favorite guests. And
Absolutely.
again, you stepped up, man. You kicked it up notches unknown to mankind with your giveaways. And we sure do appreciate that. And I know the people appreciate it. And, everybody just needs to know we were just kidding with Zazuli. We like him too. So, tell Pete we missed him tonight.
Yes.
And hopefully we'll see you again soon. Why don't you come down to Florida when the borders get open, and let's do some hunting.
I'd love to. And, thanks for having us. I really appreciate the opportunity to come on again. And thanks to you guys and all the customers and all the nice, kind words. Really appreciate it. And hope everybody stays safe and
Happy hunting.
happy.
Happy hunting, everybody. We'll see y'all later.